Okay, just first of all, I'd like to just pass along our condolences about the plane tragedy on behalf of the Sixers and everybody's families and friends and everybody that's involved in that. Just wanted to start with that. Go ahead.
I guess what happened down the stretch there with Joker, just
Yep.
how he kind of took the game a little bit.
Yeah, he did. We I'm a little, looking back on it, obviously, you're a little disappointed that he got the ball and got to make most of the plays down the stretch. We switched matchups 3 times, and then we finally went to a blitz Murray, and we were going to take away the throw and pass, and we just didn't quite get there. We rotated, and we were just really we're trying to make him throw it out all the way to the weak side, and we just didn't quite get there. And obviously he got it again and spun in there and scored. So, obviously we would have liked to try to make somebody else, handle or shoot or beat us or whatever. At least live with that. But we couldn't quite get it done. And then I think just 2 things. I think one, I want to say we were up 3, and they cut it to 1, and we had 1 bad offensive possession in there. In the 2, maybe 150, 140. Other than that, we kept making the right reads and getting the shots. And then I thought on the last play on the free throw, we had the play executed and didn't make the pass. Tyrese broke and was open, and we didn't see him and made. Pretty long shot, but they did execute the play, but we didn't execute it on the next pass. So, yeah. I think we executed pretty good offensively. Would have liked to execute a little bit better down the stretch defensively on Jokic, but again, he's really good.
So, Nick, I guess what was the intent of the play out of the timeout? Because I'm sure you either wanted the quick 2 or 3, and kind of ended up with
the one with
9.
12 seconds to go. Yeah. Well, we were trying to get the ball in Tyrese's hands. We ran a double flare screen for him. I think. Probably again would have been okay to complete that. Just might not. I'm not standing over there inbounding it either, right? But and then the next one was to drive and kick. If it didn't go to that, it was to try to spread out and drive and kick. And I think we did okay. We just didn't get spaced great. I don't think. I got to look at it again though.
When you see Yabo going for, I think, he had 28 points, and then just like him playing center all season long, playing so many different roles for you guys. Has he kind of been everything that you wanted, even more?
Well, again, I think I wasn't 100% sure he was going to be this good a pick and pop floor spacer that he's become, and that again was I think a lot of what he was getting tonight. Just because again they're gonna park Jokic in the lane or the corner so he can eventually migrate to the lane. So he kept making, and then in the second half they finally started full rotating, and again he just kept making the right plays and swinging it, and so we were kind of into some swing stuff or swing attack, the closeout. He just mostly he makes the right play. All right, if it's time to shoot, he shoots. If it's time to drive, he drives, and if it's time to swing it and move it on, he does. And if it's time to run the next action, he does that. So it's a pretty big responsibility.
You guys had 30 fast break points. Just what was the key to putting that much pressure on them?
Yeah, again, I think doing a lot better job of just initially getting it up the floor on the first outlet pass. Some guys are running. We're getting a little bit better at throwing ahead. I don't know how many turnovers we created in that. Not quite enough, but 19. You're gonna get some. We're creating some turnovers. We're getting some stuff on that. And I thought we were going to, the way the fourth quarter started, I thought we were going to get into one of those fourth quarter. Again, we started getting our hands on everything in the early possessions in the fourth and knocking the ball all over the place. I thought we were a little unfortunate. We knocked it into a couple baskets a couple times. We literally looked like we were getting ready to take off and fast break, and Porter would turn around and get a layup out of it. So just, again, like the activity and the hands that we did have on them. But and I think that created a lot of fast break stuff.
Kelly had a big game as a driver and shot 7 free throws, particularly big, I think, the first 5-ish minutes of the second quarter when Maxey was on the floor. I guess how valuable is having someone like Kelly who can do all the role player stuff in a background role, but also like take an on-ball role and pressure the rim when you have guys off the floor?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's kind of designed that way right now with the make of the team that we take him out, get him back in to start the second because he's going to become the primary scorer. And again, we run a few things to get him kind of turning downhill, and when we don't, it kind of finds him and he makes his own plays there. But I just think he's done such a better job at, and you guys have noticed this too. He's done such a better job at getting to 2 feet. Seems that when he goes in there and gets to 2 feet, he's got a little bit more strength, balance, and moves it around a little more than when he gets in there on 1 foot. He kind of is already committed to some certain direction or whatever. But he's been doing a good job at getting to like 6 feet and planting 2 feet and then figuring it out from there.
You mentioned a lot about offensive process in the first game in Denver, and then tonight, obviously, far different outcome or different route to
Game,
the
yeah.
I guess, how did you think the process changed for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult. Again, they are who they are. They're almost like we're going to outscore you, right? Like we're just so good offensively. Like we're going to make the right reads. Like if you mess up, you're paying for it, right? And again, we were trying like heck to figure some of the stuff out to slow them down, and you know, again, you just needed to do a little bit better job on the physicality, right? It was things like, I don't know, they'd be in the corner and back cut us. Well, they would grab us and throw us, and we, you know, physically throw us and be at the rim. Well, you got to do it the other way around. You got to grab them and not let them move. You know what I mean? And there was a couple drives where we beat them to the spot, and they just lowered their shoulder, and boom, we're getting knocked underneath the basket, and they're landing in at the front of the rim. So some of that was just, you know, we just needed a little more force, a little more grabbing and holding, and a little more physicality. And I think we could have taken some of those easy baskets away. I mean, we were trying everything. We went 2-3, we went 3-2, we went triangle and 2 tonight. I don't know if you noticed that for a few possessions, created a couple turnovers and gave up a couple layups. You know, it was kind of like home run or strikeout on most of the stuff we were doing tonight. So we just kept trying to. I told him in the fourth, man, we got to hit some more home runs. Like we got to start scratching for the ball, because when they're in their rhythm, they're a lot bigger at a lot of positions. They just pin us underneath. You know, they sprinkled in enough transition to hurt us as well, you know, early baskets and things like that.
Like last possession, maybe offensive possession, maybe notwithstanding. I mean, there was that period where it felt like Tyrese was just matching, drive, finish, drive, drawing fouls. Like the fact that he can go toe to toe basically with the 3-time MVP. I mean, I know we've talked about him all season long, but like, just what is that type of performance?
Yeah, he's really playing great, and I think that again, a lot of it doesn't seem overly forced. You know, he makes a move and he's by him and he's in the lane and he's at the rim. You know, a lot, and if he sidesteps for the 3, he usually creates enough space. I think there was like only one I thought he sidestepped and they still covered him that he took, and that was, I don't know, 10 minutes to go in the game or something like that. You know what I mean? So again, just making decisive moves, and the 2 things he can really do are turn on the jets and sidestep juke you for open shots, and he's hitting a good number of them now. Okay, thanks everybody. Nurse boys.